Oh, hey. I was about to change shirts, but she said 3, 2, 1, so we're going to keep it rolling. Hey, this is Pertis Williams with the AWDID Project Humanity here at the Garrett Studios. We are live, unfortunately for me, but I do want to enjoy that. It's Garrett Studios, Jackson, Mississippi, Livingston Road here at the downtown area. So with the AWDID, again, this is the first show, and we hope it's not going to be the last show. So what are we talking about today? I got a few topics, but first I want to discuss the empty can that we talk about a lot. We hear a lot of people talking about empty cans make a lot of noise. Smart people use that to make stupid people sound, actually, I think it's smart people use that so that they don't have to address stupid people. If I say that the empty can makes a lot of noise, then I'm less likely to say something. So what we have now is a ton of empty cans running our country because nobody said anything to them. Nobody questioned them. Nobody called them out on the crazy. We just let them keep going and going and going. And guess what? They're making the policies for your children to go to school. They're making the policies for your water. They're making the policies for how your food is being grown. They're making the policies for your health care. The cool kids, the empty cans, because they were loud enough and proud enough to stand up and say something, even if it was stupid, because it got attention. And we're living in a digital age right now. Everybody's holding onto a phone or looking at a computer. So it's time for the smart people to make more noise than the empty cans. It's time to stand up because we're going down the wrong road, people. And your being quiet, guilty here. Our being quiet has led us down the wrong path. So we have to take a stance right now. I'm sorry, I got whales being beached, and nobody thought about how and why. Because when I look in the ancient texts, I don't see where they say the whales were being beached, and we found like 20,000 whales on the beach in the BCs. So what are they doing under the water? Oh, nobody cares, right? Because as long as I got my bag, I'm okay. But what about the kids' future? Because if my dolphins are eating plastic, then what are the children going to eat in 20 years? Because the dolphins eating plastic. So some fish missing? Or do plastic bottles look like fish? Well, I can tell you one thing. We need to start caring, and we need to start caring fast. Everyone in this country at one time has heard, this is a Christian country. We believe in Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Jesus would flip over every table in America because the only thing I see you going after is the next thing, the next give me, the nicest this. And what's disgusting to me is nobody is paying attention to how opposite that is of Jesus. How opposite is that? Now, there's nothing wrong with having nice things and going to work and earning a living and paying for the things you like. But what I noticed recently was nobody has seen a miracle in a long time. So I thought about, we need to get some miracles going. But I was thinking, why haven't we seen miracles in a long time? And it was put on my heart to say, it's because you're surrounded by so much stuff. I see a camera, a microphone, a bag over here, some coffee, another bag. I got a little thing over here, hourglass in. I got paper. I got a computer. If I walk outside, I see cars, trucks, planes, trains, automobiles. There is so much man-made stuff. How can we see anything that God put here for us to see? How can we? We're not even going after those things. Somebody told you to go walk in the woods. You say, I'm not going to walk in the woods. Bugs out there. So at the end of the day, it won't be any woods if we keep letting the cool kids run the country. So I'm driving from Florida to Atlanta, and I see where the cool kids have cut down miles of trees so they can put up solar panels. You got to tell me that's the most brilliant thing I've ever seen. We're going to enter. Let me take that back. That's the stupidest thing I have ever seen. How are you going to cut down trees to put up solar panels? Well, they did that because we don't have any smart people fighting hard enough to wake up the other smart people. See, we have to start calling stupid stupid. We have to address the grade curve. We have to address that a lot of us are quiet because we're not in the clickety-click of the right clickety-click. Well, guess what? The clickety-clicks are at war. The clickety-clicks are drilling every hole they can find. The clickety-clicks are cutting down trees to put up solar panels, people. That's what the clickety-click doing. So are we going to continue to let that happen and watch the future disappear for your children? They don't have much if we don't stand up and fight. And the saddest thing is they're going to have to stand up and fight first. I know you're probably like, who? The kids? Yes. Look at the history of fighting. The kids marched with Dr. King. So when you hear people talking about the marches and I was marching with Dr. King and all this, those people are now in their 70s. And that means they were like under 25 back then, not grown, you know, old enough to buy liquor, old enough to go to war, but really not old enough to do anything else because nobody wanted to hear them. And they fought for a future. So the Generation X, who is my favorite generation of terrible parents, have to tell you, you're amazing at dodging responsibility. But Generation X hasn't really had their challenge. So we kind of skated on through, and now the next generations are suffering because of us. Yeah, I said it. It's because of Generation X. My mama marched with Dr. King. She ain't supposed to march right now. What's she gonna do march right now for? Did we ever march? Yes, we did. And I'll tell you when. It was 1991. It was a long time ago. There was a group called the Angels with Attitudes, and they had these songs that were quite offensive to the ladies. And there was this president named Dan, I believe his name Dan Quayle. I think we dismissed Dan because he had this potato incident. He had a spelling impeachment, I think. But he told us then that this music was going to destroy us. And I called him crazy. Mr. Vice President, I'd like to apologize to you today because that poisoned me too. And it took a long time to get that venom out of my body. I've spent many years stuck and stupid. It took a long time to come out of crazy. But I'm glad that my Creator gave me time to do it, because we have to change direction, and we cannot sit here and say that the things we've been doing haven't been poisoning us. I have my notebook, yes, and something just popped in my mind that I wrote down today. Something we have to address about how we treat each other in school and in public if we want to be successful as humanity. We got to quit celebrating stupid people. Now, a lot of people say, oh, you talk like this, you speak, and that's because I watch Star Trek most of the time. That's what I watch. I watch Star Trek. So I'm dreaming of a better future for us. I don't speak like you speak because I don't watch Real House Husbands and Wives of the Crazy Town and the cussing out of the throwing pizza and party. I don't do that. That's not what I'm watching. I'm not watching the boys in the hoods and the menaces of the society. I watched it once. Maybe saw it on a passing, but that's not my main thing. That doesn't represent our society until we made it represent our society. We decided to become that. Jackson was not like that until we started watching those movies. I was watching Forrest Gump. Y'all out here watching Menace to Society. I'm trying to be a better person and open up bubblegum shrimp. Y'all out here trying to open up Doughboy. Shoot somebody. Come on now. Now, I'm not going to cut no slack to the generation that came before us. I got something for everybody. Just in different waves. But right now, Generation X, you my problem. You are my problem. You are the example that these young people are watching. You are the ones who are on TV producing the music now. Which, by the way, let's be real. If an artist who originally made the music has to make you pay them, then you stole that music. That's kind of what the definition of stealing is, which is also commandment, which is meaning that music is born in sin, which is another thing we need to correct. I recently heard that Provine High School has about 11 people in the band. Here's an idea. Take some of that stolen money you got and let's start funding these high school bands. Actually, let's go junior high, elementary, because how can you steal music if nobody's able to make it? We need to have some actual real music being made so y'all rappers can steal it. So take some of that stolen music you got from that negative vibe you got and start funneling that into these communities so we can have new books in the schools, so we can have instruments for the students. It's amazing to me how we love to say what somebody else has done to us, but never want to address what we are doing to ourselves. There's something systemically wrong with that. And it's not racism. Systemically stupid. Yeah, I said it. Systemically. Oh, am I supposed to be watching the you gotta tell me these things now. Okay, so we're getting ready for a commercial break soon. So in 2 minutes, okay, gotcha. But again, this is my first time, so I'm kind of a brand newbie to the watching of the clock guy. So, my clock is a little bit smoother. So, I don't know where I was, but do I have a 2 minute? I got a 2 minute warning. So, we're going to set the stage for something else to come up after we come back from the break. Because, God did set a stage, and I plan on dancing on it. Now, I'm taking the lead. I don't follow. I listen, but don't expect me to follow you nowhere. We can stand beside each other. How about that? We'll walk beside each other, holding hands like they said in some, everybody take a stand, join the caravan of love. That's the one. So we're going to do that because I don't want you to follow me either. Walk with me. You see a hole? Let me know. Hey, stop. It's a hole in the ground. Don't let me fall. But if you following me or I'm following you and you fall, if I'm not paying attention, I'm looking at my cell phone, we both could be up out of here. So let's use walking beside each other rather than being followers. I think that's what we tripping and falling. We're trying to follow the wrong people because they have the shiny things you like. Everything that glitters ain't gold. Silver, it ain't diamonds, it ain't cubes of zirconias, it ain't rubies. That's my favorite because that's mine. You heard me. Big red. Now she done told me the time, and now it's taking forever for these 18 seconds because, I was going to be talking. She should have came in here like a minute and I could have shut it down. But we're going to count it down, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with a new topic to discuss in 5, 4.
Looking for the hottest content in the city of Jackson and surrounding areas? Check out WeBelieveDigital.com. Also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We Believe Digital Podcast is here for all your podcasting needs.
Hey, we back again at the AWDID with Pertis Williams, Project Humanity, here at the Garrett Studios. Again, Livingston Road, Jackson, Mississippi, the downtown area. As this audit continues, and I go over the things that I find to be flawed in how we seem to be interpreting things, I came across one that I heard recently. Somebody said Dr. King keeps talking about what they keep quoting Dr. King as saying, I fear I'm integrating my people into a burning house. Now, that was a long time ago to be in this burning house. So are we throwing water or gas? Are we trying to put the fire out? Are we trying to ignite it? Well, here's something that may help you find some water. Rather than trying to burn the house down, let's consider saving what we can and making some adjustments and remodeling the rest that has already caught fire. For one, you are all God's children. I know that was too easy, but I know you don't want to hear that. But that's true. You have these things that are born in you. And it goes back to one of the things I meant to talk about earlier. And I saw this firsthand, and that's why it disturbs me. So if I get a little shaky, mad, angry, or even drop a tear, it's because I care. All right, so in college, University of Southern Mississippi, with the new volleyball facility. I was a CASA worker at the time in 1995-ish. CASA worker is a court-appointed student advisor. So I had an opportunity to work directly with the kids who were needing assistance at the court. I don't know why my teacher chose that when everybody else was riding around in police cars and going to corners and stuff. She got me dealing with neglected and abused kids. Like, I didn't have nothing else to do with my time. I learned a lot there. All of it disturbs me. For one, the programming of a child is real. In that time, I had to deal with neglected and abused children who I saw doing things that you would think children shouldn't be doing this. Didn't nobody teach you better? No, they didn't. They didn't teach them any better. They actually taught them the worst things they could teach them. And they told them that this is good. And that's what those kids believed. That's what those kids thought. And when I would come in contact with those kids would actually attempt to do those things with me and my counselor here. We were like, hey, what you doing? Take your hands off my legs and let's talk. So programming a kid is real. So the things that we feed these kids, I'm not talking about chicken nuggets. I'm talking about the music and the movies that we feed them. The things we tell them, that really does affect them. And for us not to address it as adults is a problem. There's no way in the world I could have had my mom in the car with me and bumping Luke. There's no way. No way in the world she'd have been allowing that. No way. She'd have took the, as a grown man buying the car, she wouldn't have allowed it. So how are we allowing, they're going to grow and learn one day. Can it be one day in the future? Can we let them be kids? Can we let them remain children? So as a CASA worker, again, back to that, seeing a child be programmed into the worst, what the future is going to be for them. So you see in a worst case scenario, not so much the worst case once you educate yourself across the world, but the worst you've seen in your life. And then to go to court. And while we're in court, you explain everything in great detail to the judge. Your manager does the same. Your counselor. The defense is nothing. And the judges are going to send the child to the care of the aunt. And the parents, I don't want to see you in my courtroom again. I want to see him, in some therapy or jail, one of those. But to go free with nothing is like seriously, what is our criminal justice system doing when you will lock up somebody with a dime sack of anything? But to destroy a child, we don't care. So once I knew that, of course I quit that job. That was my last day. Like, you out your mind. Can't do this no more. I told my teacher, give me whatever grade you're going to give me. She gave me a C. But with the grade curve, it was really a D, because she knew I stopped working at that moment. I wasn't finna do that no more. That project was over. But yeah, I'm not able to go to prison that early in my life. I was like 23. Nothing to do that. 22. My mind was not ready for that type of abuse and craziness with the attitude that I have. And I knew that. My mama used to say, "You good with kids?" Yeah, okay. Not good with crazy though. So that let me know then, you're not finna be a teacher. No way. So seeing the court system and how they treated the children, or how they treated the parents or the children, which one is? It's both of them. And knowing that the programming of a child is real, it started to grow me up when I started to grow up, starting to see how our Generation X music has done so much financial gain for a lot of people, but in some of the worst ways, at the detriment to our children. And now it's not just, the dark-skinned children. No. We all across the world now, baby. This is a virus that has been spreading. We are out here desensitized. The children are shooting people. The children are shooting people, y'all. We not gonna do anything. We just gonna keep going like we're going, because we got to get that bag, right? All right. I think I'm getting tired of chastising, so I'm gonna give you some options, because if we are in a burning house and we're not gonna throw water on it, then I'm gonna drag you out of it kicking and screaming. That's what firemen do. So, kicking and screaming, you about to get drugged out this house. All right, rich people, not the wealthy, but rich dummies. Let's talk. We got a whole lot of y'all talking about how you came out the ghetto, you did this in the ghetto, and you came out the ghetto, and congratulations, you made it. I'm very proud of you for your journey, for the playing the game, and helping to inspire young people across the world. So I'll ask you in the most humblest of ways to assist us now with all that extra money that you have, and say, rather than the Bentley, jewelry, another house, how about we start some businesses, people? And look here, one of those businesses, because you know you ain't got no ideas. If you did, you'd actually use them. Let's start a business that promotes mental health. We need to create something that's going to start training people of all colors to get past the ignorance that we're not all earthlings. With tans, good tans, low tans, high tans, medium tans, bumpy tans. I got super tan. I'm the one you talked about the most, Blackie. And I'm trying to do the most to help us out of this craziness, even though I've probably experienced more stupid than most of y'all. So why don't we take that money and build a strong mental health system that not only covers what we're doing for the young people because they need it the most. We've began a program in them that we need to start adjusting immediately, but also for our elderly. And the reason I say we need to really take care of our elderly is because y'all history is some garbage. Yeah, I said it. The history is some garbage, and if you read it, it wouldn't make no sense to you. If I put it in a timeline, it'd be the stupidest thing you ever seen. And the fact that you believe it is even more amazing. But we don't question anything. We really don't. We just kind of like, he said it with vigor. He said it dynamically. I like him. His hair, his tie, the color of his shirt was right. The pants, the Nielsen ratings, you people. I'm not sure if y'all remember that. Some of these elders might remember Nielsen ratings. They've been studying you for years. Figure out what you like, what you don't like, what makes you move, what makes you don't move, what gets you out of the chair to go buy something, what makes you sit at home, what makes you go to the movies, they know everything about you. You call it the algorithm. I call it they've been watching you for years. And so let them watch you do better. Let them watch you search for information that will change the world rather than let's get money. So rich people, we need you all to help bend this mental problem that you helped create so perfectly. And again, I understand you played the game very well. And if we keep playing that game, where are we headed? I think we all know where we headed. And I'm sure we know that it's very possible that we can all end not with a bang. We can go out with a reputation that is kind of Cosby'd up in here a little bit, but you can change. As long as we are still alive, we can change and go in another direction. We need grant money. So we need grant writers. But while we do have people with a financial abundance, how about a hold off on the jet skis, the 600-foot boat? We got a failing school system. And the one thing I do know, and I'm going to say this because try not to joke, but we have people coming across that border daily, risking life, coming from El Salvador, Ecuador, coming all the way South America, trying to get here so that they can work hard for a few dollars, get with some people, work hard for a few more dollars, start a business, buy that pickup truck, start a bigger business, hire some more people, and they may live in an apartment, 3-bedroom, 15 people. But guess what? In 6 years, they got a big old house, nice land, and we still asking for reparations. We won't move until you give us that. Where are our support group people from I used to live in the ghetto too, now I'm $22 million. I opened one school and look at my bands, look at my wristwatch. Well, Julio and Raimundo, they came up here and now they got 10 employees and they've only been here 6 years. 20 years fast forward, they got 1,000 employees doing construction, doing roofing, doing so many things that none of us want to do. But there are so many things we can do. But I need you to pull. This is really us though. This is really us. Pull yourself up with your bootstraps. That's really some stuff us dark-skinned people say without saying it. Because everybody else has a support group. We have a pull yourself up by your bootstrap group. And y'all want to blame everybody else for how they treating us. Well, you need to look in that mirror and see how you treating us. Now, I don't know how much longer I got underneath 33 seconds. And if the show is about to be over, but I did want to say that's some scumbag behavior, that we are demonstrating for us to see people come here and do great things or fantastic things. And we are still waiting for reparations because our rich fools are definitely fools. It's Pertis with the AWDID. Be back in a minute.